So Gaijin has rolled out another batch of marketplace skins for the new Storm Warning update, and that means it's time for another tier list. Will we be getting another batch of Osa Diarrhea skins, or will Gaijin finally make the community's collective wishes come true and start giving us skins with hentai on them? Let's find out together. Alright, starting off we have the Cyborg Tiger for the German Eurofighter, and that is definitely an easy A tier. I don't think there's really any debate about that. Next we have another aerobatic camo for the Rafael, and that's another banger, also going in A tier. Next we have the ZJ913 for the British Eurofighter, and apparently in this trophy, Gaijin is blessing us with a bunch of actually like good high tier camos instead of diarrhea looking OSA ones, also A tier. Next we have the blue 511 skin for the Sukhoi 34, and I am a huge fan of these Russian like splinter skins that they make, and this one is no exception, A tier. Next we have the new generation camo for the T-72 Terms. It's kind of not a lot going on here, but it's not offensive to look at like some of the things we've been given in the past, so I'm just gonna give it a neutral C tier, I think. Next we have the number 222 camo for the IS-2 1943. This is pretty nice looking as far as historical skins go. I mean, it's kind of plain, but it's definitely a big upgrade over the, just the default green. I'm going to put this one in B tier, I think. Next we have the 321 camo for the Tiger Ost. It's kind of just gray or black with some decals on it. I kind of like the normal ones better, so I'm going to put this one in C tier. Next we have the red 85 camo for the Su-33, and that is absolutely sick. That's an easy A tier. Next we have the 355 Op4 camo for the WZ-305. This is pretty neat. I mean, it's not the most aesthetic like digital camo I've ever seen, but still pretty cool. Got some decals on it. I think this is a solid B tier. Next we have the White Tiger for the Tiger West. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of a nod to a Russian movie that came out a few years ago. I say a few years ago, it's probably like a decade ago, where these Russian tankers are battling like a ghost tiger in the forest, and I thought that was absolutely sick. And this is both really cool to look at, and the fact that it's a reference to that movie, I'm putting this in Gooning. Next we have the Forest Modern camo for the CV90 Mark IV. This is pretty interesting. It's very clean. I kinda like the default one a little better, although, you know what? I like this, a lot of attention to detail, and this is pretty different. I'm gonna put this in A tier. This is pretty cool. Next we have the Afghanistan 2011 camo for the Panzerhaubitze 2000. And, okay guys, let's figure this out. Is this just the Kark camo with a decal on it? More or less. So, yeah, that's gotta go in D tier, I'm afraid. Next we have the Half-Breed camo for the K50. I think they're going for like a shark or something here. I'll be honest, it's funny, but it's not the most pleasant thing to look at. But I think that's a solid B tier. Next we have the Panzer Battalion 123 camo for the Boxer MGS. You know, I think this is not too dissimilar from just the normal tricolor desert camo. Yeah, it's not bad though, but I think that's probably just going to be C tier. Next we have the Project Nemesis camo for the RDF LT. I really don't know if this is a reference to something. If so, someone please tell me in the comments. It looks like those metal step platforms that you see on scaffolding. It's not bad. I guess I'll just put this in B tier. Please somebody explain to me what this is. Next we have the gray spotted camo for the Leopard 2 PL, and that is a very cool like gray digital camo. I like that a lot. Oh, and it's got a winged hussar thing on it. Yeah, this is A tier. If you're Polish though, I'd probably put it in Goon tier, but that is not my ethnic background, so sorry. Next we have the Niedersachsen exercise camo for the Puma VJTF. It's kind of cool. A lot of little decals over here. It's not super aesthetic, but it's kind of cool. I think this is a solid B tier. Next we have the REA 2011 camo for the BMD4M. I feel like we already have this camo. I think this... yeah, this is kind of just a copy and paste with some decals on it. I'm gonna have to put that in D tier. I don't think I would spend money on that. Next we have a 7th Artillery Regiment camo for the M44 self-propelled howitzer and the Japanese tech tree. This reminds me of that like National Guard camo, the M48 from the last one. It's kind of cool to look at. I don't know. I don't really have strong feelings on this one. I'm just gonna put it in C tier. Next we have just these numbers camouflage for the F-15E. It's another furry camo. It's kind of funny, but I'll be honest, I don't think I would necessarily want to look at this all game. I'm just going to put this one in C tier, I think. Next we have the modern pixel camouflage for the Su-27. And I know I said a minute ago that I really like all of these, but this one looks like dirty. I mean, I get it's supposed to be realistic, but like, this is kind of driving my OCD crazy, and so I gotta knock it down to B tier, unfortunately. Next we have the TIE Aggressor for the F-16A OCU. I don't have the strongest feelings on this one. It's kind of cool though. I think this is a B tier. Not crazy, not my favorite, but still pretty clean. Definitely an upgrade over the default to be sure. So next we have the Desert Geometry camouflage for the VBCI. It's yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a simple 3-color, like, digital desert camo. Not a lot to say. I think that's a solid B tier. Next we have the Scorchers camo for the MiG-21 Bison. Is this supposed to be an eye? I feel like I'm looking at like one of those like Rorschach tests or something. Yeah, I don't know. That's not really very nice to look at, honestly. I think this one is going in D tier. Next we have the Armored Recon Regiment skin for the AMX-10 RC. And is this even different? I think this isn't even like slightly altered. This is literally just 3-tone Kark. Yeah. This is... bruh, are you serious? This isn't even a different camouflage. Like, it's not even tweaked slightly. I don't think I can even put this in D with some of the others, because at least those are tweaked, but this is like literally identical. I gotta put this in ew, honestly. Next we have the Black Sheep camo for the Aviate-B NA. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I kinda prefer the default, to be honest. I'm just gonna put this one in C tier, I think. Next we have the 3-color deforming camo for the A21A. This is cool. It reminds me almost of like the digital camo that like the Swedish tanks get, except put onto an airplane. Yeah, I think that's a solid B tier. That's pretty cool. Next we have the 1st Armored Battalion skin for the Norwegian Leopard 1. This is pretty cool. Very sharp looking. I do think this is kind of just quadricolor deforming camo, but it is definitely sharper, much nicer to look at, and has some like decals on it. So I think this one gets a B tier. That's pretty solid. Next we have the Love Bug camo for the Sheridan, and that is amazing. I don't know what this means, but I'm certain it's a reference to something. That's hilarious. Yeah, you know what, I'm putting this in Gooner tier just because this is the kind of like shitposty stuff I want to see, and the fact that it's actually historical and everyone gets to look at this, yeah, that's fantastic. Next we have the Rejected Design #1 camo for the Chinese Mirage 2000. This is a pretty cool... excuse me, give me 1 second. Sorry, I just noticed the graphics didn't load in right on that. Yeah, I mean, this is a very cool, like, livery here. It's not really that different from the default, though, but I think this is still a solid B tier. This is a pretty cool one. Next we have the Israel 2018 camo for the Namer. I don't know how to say this word, so I'm not going to make an attempt. This is just a different kind of shade of brown with some squares and whatever this is and some numbers. I don't know that I would spend money on this. I'm just going to put this in D tier, honestly. Next we have the USS Lexington 1939 camo for the TBD-1. And, you know, I'm happy to finally see some, like, camos for the, like, absolute bottom-tier aircraft finally. We don't get a lot of those, and this is very, very Lindy. I'm gonna put this at B tier. This is pretty cool. Next we have the Firebird camo for the F-111, and genuinely, this is the first time I've ever seen one of these where I'm not sure if I should put it in gooning or ew. This is different. This is very different. You know what? I'm gonna do what I know the crowd probably wants. I'm gonna goon to this one. That's what we're gonna do, I think. Next we have the TZ-137 camo for the Belgian Spitfire. And I'll tell you what, this one is very needed because this default one is just kind of very meh. Yeah, this is a lot better, I think. I think this is a solid B tier for me. Next we have the Robert Marchi camo for the Yak 3 France, and this isn't that different from the default, but, you know, it's a pretty cool historical one. I like these decals, so I think we'll put that in B tier. That's a solid B tier, we'll say. Next we have the Musée des Blindes, sorry French people, I don't know how to speak your language, for the Char 25T. Sorry about that, I had to check. No, this is not a copy-paste camo. Yeah, I mean, it's not great, not terrible, I guess. I don't know, I just don't really have any strong feelings here, so I think I'm just gonna stick this in C tier. Next we have the 1942 camo for the HMS Rodney. Nice little, sort of dazzle camo, I guess. Yeah, you know, I don't really have any strong feelings about this one, so I think I'm just gonna put this one in C tier. Next we have the 80442 camo for the F7 F3. It doesn't look to me to be too different than the normal one, except for these orange highlights, but you know, it's pretty clean. I think I'll give this one a solid B tier. Next we have the Gate Guardian camo for the Tornado IDS, and yeah, Italy out of absolutely nowhere with a banger. This is sick. I mean, yeah, granted the aircraft is terrible, but that's very cool. I'm gonna put this in goon tier. I really like that a lot. Wrapping it all up, we have the XS486 camo for the Wessex Mark V. And that is, without a doubt, one of the worst things I have ever seen in my entire life. A tier. Well guys, I think it's safe to say that that one was a big step up over the last. Just one quick channel announcement before I wrap up. I did finally go and set up a Discord, so if you want to join that, link is in the description. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you missed the camo tier list for the last update, I'll link that in the end screen. See you guys in the next one.